Emmanuel Pepis of UNOprivateers.com with cross-country head coach Ben Dalton. And Coach, first of all, just talking about the year in review, we talked to you earlier this year after the UNO relays, and it was just about a growth process for both teams, and just talk about how you feel the teams have progressed over the year.
Well, we've been training pretty hard, and I think the team's come together really well. So the grouping's very important as we move toward conference, and especially on the guys' side, we've got a pretty tight-knit group. We need to add a little bit of volume and depth for next year, and even January onwards for indoor track and field. But I think that they're still training hard. We're training hard through conference because we're so young, but I'm excited about how we're going to do.
And you got to measure yourselves against some conference competition throughout the year, and just talk about how you feel your team is from that standpoint.
Yeah, we've got one of the strongest conferences in the US actually, with a number, I think 4 or 5 teams in the top 15 in our region. And so conferences, it's as elite as it gets. So team-wise, we've got to compete against McNeese and Southeastern as well, who both have strong squads, and I think we can compete with the best, and it just depends how we do on the day.
And talk about the different types of courses and the different types of conditions that you guys face throughout the year, and how that will serve you going into next week.
Well, actually, this year we've been very lucky on our in the conditions for our races. Predominantly it's been very dry, a little hot, but we're in the south, we're in New Orleans, so we expect that and we're used to it, and we train in it. Unlike last year where, Chili Pepper was a complete wash. So I think going into it, the conditions will probably be the same. It's local, it's at Natchitoches, just up the road, so, I'm pretty confident about how they're going to do.
And talking about on the guys' side, you mentioned about the depth of this team and how across the board it's really 1 through 4 is pretty much together.
Yeah, 1 through 4, absolutely. They've pushed themselves. They've, depending on race to race, we've had Clayton out front, we've had Blake out front, Edmund competing, Michael as well, and we've got a few newcomers that just walked on this year with Sheu, Federico, and now Michael, and so they're all really progressing so fast because they're relatively new to the sport, the newcomers, and these guys, they've got a year under their belt, and so that's starting to show now as we go forward. And through this conference and national cross-country season, and then on to indoors, I'm really excited about how they're going to do.
On the women's side, of course, you've had Leticia, who's come back really strong this year, and Callie, one of you newcomers, who's continued to get stronger as the year has gone on.
Yeah, every single one of the girls has done really, really well for themselves. They're progressing. Everybody's got better times from the same results, and in training, they look better and better every week. Leticia did have a great summer. She came back looking good, and we're just trying to keep that progression going. The same with newcomer Callie, and the same for all the other girls with Emily and Becky out there too.
All right, Coach, thank you very much, and best of luck next week.
Thank you very much.
For Coach Ben Dalton, this is Emmanuel Pepis of UNOprivateers.com.